Now, if you have the Ultimate Guide 2.0, you might have noticed something special in this book, something called Chica's Secret Party, which is located in between Help Wanted 2 and Secret of the Mimic. Now, this is important and we'll come back to that later, but a lot of theorists have been trying to figure out what is this Chica's Secret Party. Well, I'll try my best to uncover what it is and go through all the details that the book gives us. So let's start. Located on page 234, you notice it has its own page and everything. And there's a little entry here from Scott Cawthon's minigame guide that I'm going to read. So, Chica's Secret Party has nearly been a secret game as it was only available for a short amount of time. Only 3 days precise, so meaning available on scottgames.com, which is interesting, all the way back in 2016. And the information can still be found on fan Wikipedia sites if you want to know more. So let's go back to the beginning. So 3 days on scottgames.com, which is interesting because if it was on scottgames.com, we wouldn't know it came out. But here's something very interesting. It released all the way back in 2016. So remember when I said that it was located between Help Wanted and Secret of the Mimic? So this book's table of contents is ordered of release. So Help Wanted 2 came out in 2023 and Secret of the Mimic came out in 2025. So it should not go there. It should go closer to Sister Location since that came out around Sister Location. And so another thing I want to note as well is that it came out in 2016. So 2 games released in 2016, and that being FNAF World and Sister Location. And so for your newer FNAF fans, Scott used to post teasers on scottgames.com to get us hyped for the new games. And so there would have been no way we missed this because at the time we were looking at scottgames.com for the teasers for both games, and also in addition to that, people were looking through the source code just to find the names of animatronics for Sister Location. So there's no way we could have missed this, and it being on 3 days on scottgames.com, it would have been impossible. And so this just feels like it's kind of confusing because it's telling us it came out in 2016, placed between Help Wanted and Secret of the Mimic, and was on Scott Games, but there's no way we could have missed it since we were looking at Scott Games to see the teasers for the newest FNAF games. Another thing I want to note, on this page it says that you can find information on Wikipedia sites. So if you used the Wayback Machine before this novel even came out, you would have known, hey, there's no information on Chica's Secret Party. So this is just straight up lying to us. Now there's 4 images that I want you to pay attention to. These 3 and this one right here. So these 3 images, when I first saw them, remind me of both the FNAF 3 Chica minigame and the Circus Baby minigame. They both look familiar to me because some of the assets look the same as well. Now this one right here, I didn't know what this image was. I thought this was a brand new image until Rye Toast pointed out that this is just Midnight Motorist where the mustard man checks outside the house. This is almost the same exact image, and also Rye Toast adds that there's no way this would have happened because remember, Pizza Sim came out in 2017 and this game came out in 2016, so there's no way that would have happened. So the book just describes what the game is about. So Chica has to give cupcakes to the babies, there's going to be some shadow figures that she has to avoid, and so there's different levels. The game requires Chica to find hidden items around the house and give them to the crying children while avoiding shadowy figures. And that's basically the whole game. So I'm very confused on what Chica's Secret Party is. I'll try my best to maybe describe why it's included in this book. And my first theory is that it was basically a big misinformation, which would be pretty bad for this book because this book already has a lot of things wrong with it when it comes to getting information right. And so if it gets a completely random page of just this fake game, then it makes no sense. Why is it in this, why did they, think that this was part of FNAF? They probably did no research on it. But then at the same time, if Scott was doing his quality control, he would have noticed that and told him to remove it because honestly not real. And it looks very detailed from what I can see to be something that, oh, they just made up, because I mean, it has a whole story and everything, and it has images that looks like they made as well just for this entry right here. So my next theory is that this is a hoax, or one of Scott's trolls. And I love when Scott does his trolls. He does a very good job with it, because these images, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, are very similar to mini games that we already have in previous entries. And this could just be one of those trolls where, hey, we got you, you know what I mean? Or another theory I have is maybe there's lore to it. Maybe it's a representation of something in the lore that we missed. Some people saying that it could be a representation of both Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie and how they work, or maybe describing how William Afton ended Susie, which is the child that possesses Chica. So I'm just very confused on this book, because this book basically just gives us a bare bones run of this so-called game. And here's something interesting as well I've noticed in this book. So in the secret room section of the book, you notice this, as well as peek inside, which is there's something you have to peek inside for like a little Easter egg. And then the book says which won't be spoiled here. So this book is just confusing me right now, because I don't know if this is just a, hey, we messed up, we made something up, or this is a hoax, or because this is too deliberate to be a mistake. I mean, they had images made and everything. I mean, it could be, from what I've heard, is that it could be a teaser for our next FNAF game. But I don't get it. Like, I really don't. I'm still confused on this. And mind you, if this was a mistake, you're paying $20 for this book. And that means you pay $20 to see, just to see a mistake or a big goof they made in this book, which is pretty bad. I mean, honestly, if you think about it. But, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't have an answer. I don't think any of us have an answer on what this is. And, people have tried to reach out to Scott, and, nothing. We've heard nothing. I mean, that's what FNAF feels like nowadays, is that we get questions, but we never get answers. Scott finishes, or starts, starts asking these questions about the series, and then he never finishes or answers them later on. But, yeah, my best answer is that maybe there's some lore relevance behind this, maybe, but other than this, it looks like a deliberate hoax. And so when this information was coming out of the guy that leaked this secret party page, someone made it like a fan game or a fan hoax out of it, which caused a lot of people to be speculative, and like, if this is actually part of the book, then because they thought it was part of the hoax, but no, but this is actually part of the book. This is real. Like, this is really in here. I'm not making any of this up. And so we're very confused on this. Maybe we'll get an answer in our next game, 5 Laps of Freddy's, or whatever next big FNAF game comes out. But for right now, it's nothing. Like, we don't know what this is. We don't know if it's just there for fun, but that's my best explanation of this book. And so I don't really have a definitive answer, and I always find that interesting. Back in 2016, there's no way we would have missed this. There's no way we would have missed this. FNAF fandom was peak at its time. In addition to that, we had 2 big games coming out, and there was a lot of teasers. And from what I remember back in 2016, people were digging into the source codes of Scott games just to find the names of like the new Funtime animatronics. So there's no way we would have missed this. And the placement of this between Help Wanted 2 and Secret of the Mimic, it's like, I don't know. I don't know, maybe or my last theory, I think what it is the Mandela effect, where they're trying to make us think this thing actually happened, but it didn't. But yeah, that's all for this video. I just wanted to talk about this. I was so confused on it. I don't really have a defined answer, but it's interesting trying to read this, and it feels fully planned out, better written than most some of the game entries on this book. So that's really all for this video. I just wanted to yap about this. I'm just taking a look at it right now. I mean, there's nothing much to it. Maybe we get an answer down the road, I don't know. But that's all for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.